Welcome to Black, Red, and Blue Fancast with your host AJ and Steve. For this edition, Match Day 8. This is one of those podcasts that we don't want to have to do, and that's another draw. It's kind of like that meme, like the little guy with the stick that's kind of like poking the thing that says, "Hey, do something."
Yeah,
that's
the dead
what
horse.
I feel like this game was, right? Yeah, the dead horse. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was. There's this saying, are we ever going to win again? Like, I feel like we're like in the medium place, and like the good place. We're stuck in Ohio somewhere, and like I'm glad we're not in the bad place, but I would really like to be in the good place again. But I guess the good thing about this match was it was an exciting match. Like, we were messaging throughout. I was talking. My wife is a casual fan. She was kind of watching it, and it's like you really couldn't take your eyes off the match the whole time because either they were trying to press, we were trying to press. So many shots, and like it just never happened. And it was just, I think I commented like someone broke a mirror, someone crossed a black cat, who walked underneath a ladder. Come on, guys, fess up. Someone did some bad luck somewhere. Someone bit the head off a bat and didn't tell someone. Like something's happening. Something's happening to this team. Like it's just so weird.
You actually gave a very plausible and reasonable thought process and the reason why we are struggling. And it was upcoming tomorrow, the solar eclipse.
It's it. It's throwing everything off. Yeah.
And so, like, what do you feel like this game? Like this game, though, like I do feel like there were some positive takeaways, right? Like I do feel like we had chances on goal, right? It's just that they didn't go in, right? Like the Kloss shot that bounced off the crossbar. I was like, this is so encapsulating of the game. Sam's final, like I think it was at stoppage time where he had, about like 8-9 feet out and he misses, on the far post, Like what
seems like,
but
I feel like everyone had a good shot. It's just, well, here's the thing. Like I know the Dallas fans are saying like the only reason that we didn't get a goal, the reason why they didn't get a goal is our amazing goalie. Like Paz is apparently just an amazing goalie. So yes, they're a beaten up team. They're a bad team with a great goalie. So we just drew that bad lot.
I mean, the good thing though is right. So if there's any poker players out there, you guys will understand this, right? So pocket aces against two cards and Texas Hold'em will win 85% of the time, right? Yeah. The thing is what you want in poker is you want the highest odds possible, right? And eventually you're gonna win over the long term, right? Now, the same thing is kind of like shots on goal, especially high percentage shots on goal. Eventually you're gonna win out and you're gonna score. What I did like about this game is that we did have a lot of shots. I think there was 4 on goal, but we did have a lot of shots. That gave you a chance. There was a couple by Kloss that I specifically remember that there was one off the bar. There was one that was more of a laser. And then there was the one awkward kind of kick that hit the ground and then like went towards the goalie.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes those will score, right? Like we gave ourselves some chances. I don't know if it was just bad luck or what, but I don't know. Like I'm a little optimistic in that sense. This would be way worse if we were shooting or not shooting at all compared to what we saw.
Right. Yeah. If we had 68% possession and only had 12 shots and we were just dispossessed the entire night, that there wasn't any kind of flow to the game at all, I could see that. I could really see that. But like so many chances. And so it was an exciting game. Yeah. We didn't get the win. But you know what we did get, and that Berkey even talked about it? We got him a clean sheet. Whatever it's worth, we got him a clean sheet. And yeah, he said it himself. Like, we wish we got the win, but that clean sheet feels good. And our defender, our back line is solid. I like our back line right now. That they played good. Marcanic had a few kind of iffy stats, but like I checked his stats and he was really highly rated. So he's apparently decent. Like it's so funny. Like he's a sneaky good player. And it just so happens he's got Parker on the other side. It's probably a hell of a coach right now for him, helping him out. And man, so like the good side, clean sheet for Berkey. Man of the match.
And a point. Like, yes. I know people are super frustrated about draws, but guess what? you can tell us exactly where we are in the standings and how many points behind and how the parity is of the Western Conference. But the thing is when we get down to the end, I promise you guys will be so happy we got this point. I promise
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
As opposed to a loss. If we lost, you guys would be saying, man, if only we got a point out of this. We still got a point. That's got to be worth something.
Yeah, well, it's worth one. But like, there's plenty of teams. There's 6 teams below us that they don't
And
have those points. You know, you've got San Jose. They have 3 points. Dallas has 4 points. Seattle has 5 points. Like, yeah, I could see being above San Jose, but like, we're still higher than Seattle. And Seattle just got their first win of the season
wow.
yesterday. You know, we had our first win right off the bat, but like, they're just now finding their first win to the point where Metzer, there's talk about him being on the hot seat, and the team's having to defend him. And like, Dallas was a good team last year, and they're going to be a good team. And you know, I don't see us being below this line. And like,
what do we have? 8?
I know, yeah, 8 points.
8.
Portland's above us with tied for us with 8. You know, we win, we're shooting up towards tied for 4th place, and that's amazing. And so, yeah, like you're saying, it's wins are fun, wins are great, wins feel awesome. Draws, you know, there's that old kind of gross boomer saying it's like kissing your sister. It's like, yeah, it's not great, but like, you know, I don't know how to compare that. The metaphor got lost. Like kissing a wall. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I use that. Probably shouldn't use it. Probably not a good thing. You know, don't cancel Steve, I guess is what I'm saying. But like, at least, yeah, we're not losing. We only lost once. It's so weird, isn't it? To have, we're 6 games in, and it's like, we're like, well, got another draw. You know, it's like that Ted Lasso bit where it's like, yeah, y'all do ties here. Like, well, I was just watching the MLS Next Pro, and they had St. Louis City 2 had another shootout tonight, and they won. And I had to explain to my mother-in-law, who doesn't watch soccer, that, oh yeah, no, there's shootouts in MLS Next Pro, but there's not shootouts in MLS. And that's because there's no ties in Next Pro. It has to go to this. And so I had to explain that. And like, I like that little boost in Next Pro, but I get why there is that in MLS. It's just wear and tear on bodies, and our team doesn't need any more wear and tear. So
I got some questions for you. So we had C Aspect 8066 ask some questions, and I'm going to ask you 2 of them. And one of them actually leads to something I wanted to talk about with the strikers. But the first question that C Aspect had was, is Parker hurt? He looked slow and made some bad fouls. But what did you notice like when you were watching it?
I didn't see. That's a good point he brings up, because I think he's probably thinking about that yellow card he got whenever he was clearly off his mark, and he just throws a wrestling elbow right into, I think it was Moss, whatever their Rumas, whatever one of their transfer guys is. And just, you could tell he was about to get beat, and instead of tripping him, instead of tagging him, he just laid him out. And Parker's so cool because he was like, I don't understand why I got a foul. Like, he literally put his elbow into another human, and he's shocked that he got a yellow out of it, which, okay. But like, because we didn't see him constantly, I didn't really notice if he was still hurt. You know, if his back is still tight, that's probably a possibility. I didn't check his like FODMAP rating, but I didn't see him getting burned too much. Like, he was really good at stopping on.
I don't think he
when
did.
He was back on defense.
Yeah, they gave him a rating of 7.7 on the FODMAP, which is based on stats. I actually thought he looked pretty decent. Like you said, I can't remember a specific time where he got beat, but you know, part of that game was a little bit of a snooze fest. So if I fell asleep during part of it, that might have been just kidding.
You know, he had 90% accurate passes, and so like, yeah, it doesn't hurt so much where he can't pass. He's winning a lot of the tackles. So, you know, maybe it's just the fact that it was such a boring game that everything seemed like, well, it wasn't boring. DC was boring. This game was uneventful, you would say, for the final line. It was definitely an exciting game. I'll keep coming back to that, where hell, it was exciting because we had 27 damn shots in 90 minutes. That's we just kept getting shots. And like our defense was stopping them. And Berkey, oh my God, can we just pause and talk about those saves real quick? I don't
Yes,
want to
please.
pass those up because as soon
Do
as
it,
he made
brother.
that first amazing save, I got my phone out and I filmed it. And I'm sure more professional people put it on Twitter, but like just the way he springs, like, so we watch every game, and my daughter plays soccer, and I've mentioned it multiple times. And she's a real good goalie, but she doesn't want to be a goalie. She doesn't want to be a goalie because she looks at what Spider-Man does back there, jumping around like that. She's like, I don't ever want to have to do that with my body. And like the way he recoils, it looks like a cat seeing a cucumber. You know, those videos where like it looks like he is springing. It's like he is angry at his body when it's time to stop. When it's time to stop a kick, but like those saves he made, like
Yeah, the
I
bottom
screamed
right
my
corner.
heart. Yes, and like
The windshield wiper, as you called it.
oh my God, well that was the Y98 fella that called. It's just like he windshield wiper, but it was just
Yeah.
they were just all over like,
Whew.
and then it's like
Yeah. This could have easily been a 0-3 game.
most certainly. Yeah,
And there's that
I
one
mean,
that should have been actually, the one that went off of the guy's foot.
yeah,
That
oh,
instead
right
went, I
above
think,
the
off and over. Yeah. We got lucky.
yeah, that was a lucky one. But like seriously, when he moves on or retires and he's no longer our goalie, I don't know what these fans are. Some
Okay, now you
fans
should
are
be
going to be
canceled.
angry.
You should be canceled for that.
I mean,
He
was,
will
are we
never.
gonna,
He will never retire. He's never
we're gonna
allowed to
wheel
retire.
that man out there? We're gonna wheel that man out there. His body is half falling apart like Frankenstein. And at some point, he's going to stop being our goalie. And it's just we got Lunt to look forward to. Like guys, you want to talk about like yeah, we got to replace him. Like there always has to be a Yadier Molina ready to come up. Like once in a generation type goalie. Like he is the best goalie in the league. The best goalie. I know Paul's is really good, but like Jesus Christ, this guy made some saves last night. Like Paul's made really good saves. Berkey made
Good time.
like highlight reel saves last night. I didn't get a chance to watch the MLS replay. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get a chance to get to our game. It was so uneventful. It was like one of the last games they must have been covering because I watched 40 minutes of it and it was still not to us. So I just turned it off. But that had to be them. Like, it's the only thing that happened in the game other than the missed shots was this guy just bouncing around, just saving everything. I love it. I love it.
It was nuts. Yeah. So this is one of those good time to talk about the whole striker controversy, right? So I personally have been kind of harping on this like Sam versus Klaus thing, and I want to kind of give you my opinion, see what you had thought about it. So here's my thoughts. Okay, a lot of people are saying we should bench Klaus and then put Sam in, but I want you guys to think back. Okay, think about throughout this entire season. Adeniran, anytime he comes in, especially when he's starting, he really hasn't done that much. Now, he's sometimes fun to watch, like near the end of this game, he had that one play where he had a decent chance of scoring, right? But sometimes people are looking at just that, but then they forgot about the 3 or 4 other times that Klaus did, right? I don't think it's actually the striker issue per se. Now, part of what I think is the biggest issue is feeding these strikers, right? Everybody's going to agree with me on this one, and that's AZ Jackson, unfortunately, is not that playmaker we think he is. He's basically like a chicken with its head cut off, just running around, making a lot of fancy moves, and then nothing, right? Especially when he gets, I said this before, but once he gets near the edge of the box, it just dies. It just stops there. It's like he doesn't know what to do with it. So my thoughts is that Klaus, the reason why you're not seeing him in that primary striker role is because he's smart enough to know that he can't just sit there and be that primary striker role because he's not getting any ball. So he moves back and starts to become the playmaker, right? Now, the other issue is Sam is he is a great shooter, right? But he never thinks pass. I don't care what's happening. When's the last time you've seen him pass in the box? He doesn't. But I just don't think he's working the system because this system is not, 9 players trying to get it to one striker. And I'm not including the goalkeeper here, right? Like this isn't a single striker system. This is more of a team approach, like that team DP kind of approach. And unfortunately, I don't think there's enough team play there yet. But that's something that I'm seeing is we're just missing that true playmaker. Now, when Leuven comes back, a lot of people are saying, we need another DP, we need another TP. Well, guess what? When Leuven comes back, it's like we basically get a brand new designated player, right?
Right.
That's what we really need. And honestly, I remember last year, it was said that Leuven wanted to play more of a defensive midfielder as opposed to that attacking midfielder because that's where he's more comfortable with. But now with Durkin and Blom, which I think Durkin has done a great job so far, I don't think there's kind of room back there. And we have an obvious hole at that attacking midfielder. If we do have that, then Klaus moves forward. And if they can find a way that Sam becomes more of a complement with Klaus, I think we score like crazy. What do you think?
No, I agree. I like that thought you had about Leuven transitioning more into attack mid because Durkin is only 24. We give up a lot to get Durkin, but like he is developing into that next defensive midfielder that's going to be great. And I think now that we have him, I think we can kind of get Leuven to move over into that more of that attack and get him comfortable with passing. Get him because his passing is really phenomenal, and that's what Klaus is missing this year to be able to do that. I looked real quick. I think what some fans and some frustration is people are seeing is Klaus has the one goal, and that's because that was a PK. Sam has 2 goals this year, and those are both really good looking goals. And Klaus just has not done it yet. But if you watch, his game shape is there. He's running. He's able to break free. I looked up real quick. His XG, Klaus's XG is 2.35. Like he's generating that much expected goals, where Sam's is 1.4. So Sam's not getting as good of shots. He's not playing as much right now. Klaus has 21 shots this year, 6 of those on target. Sam has only taken 15 shots so far, and 3 of those have been on target. So
deceiving though, is that XG for Klaus including the PK? Because that would be 0.7 of it.
Yeah, probably.
But still.
I can't see if they broke it down just off the non-penalty. So Sam's non-penalty XG is 1.4. Klaus's non-penalty XG is 1.56, so it's just higher. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's still higher than Sam. So he is generating more of those chances. Like he had 2 shots last night that was just bad luck shots are going to happen in soccer, and they just missed. He could have had a goal last night, and all this would be almost forgotten. Where heck, every time our DP touches the ball, people are thinking, oh, there's this bum out there again. Where last year he had 10 goals and then he was out 17 matches. Like he was on fire last year. The whole team was on fire. This style was on fire that we play. And I think the league's caught up. The league's figured out how to defend us, and that's what happens. That's what happens to a new team. And so I think some people are just kind of worried about trying new things where this is not even the full second year of the team. Let's continue this this system that's working, and we'll just have to keep playing it out. Like these guys already gotten paid. They're already there. We're not bringing up anyone from City 2 to take the place of a millionaire soccer player. We're just not going to do that. Caden Glover's awesome. He ain't coming in and replacing Klaus. Like, I'm sorry, guys. This ain't going to happen. Like, we think John Klein's going to come up here and do a better job. No, John Klein's still down there in City 2 doing his thing. I fully expect us to get it together. Now we're playing Austin coming up, and it's going to be difficult with that little fellow there that was unhealthy last time we played. But I think it was just bad luck. That's what I keep saying. Like someone spooked a black cat. That's the only reason why we didn't score any goals last night, because they were there.
Yeah. Why do you think AZ played? Like, can you come up with any rationale in your mind why, if you were the coach, why would you have put him out there? Is there any reason? Is this like a last shot? Did they figure, hey, we want to try to kickstart him, maybe nudge him into being the player we think he can?
Right.
Or do you think Carnell thinks this is truly our best option?
He must be showing it's the best option. Celio must be showing. Everyone keeps saying Celio. I do too. Celio must be showing some sort of fitness issue or some reason why he is not starting over AZ.
Now,
It
I'll give you an idea. So on FOTMob, right? I
yeah,
pulled up the ratings of our players, right? Now, I think Berkey, unfortunately, like because of the goals conceded, it artificially lowers his ratings. So
right.
I always keep the goalkeeper out of these ratings. But C. Leo's our number one. He's at a 7.39. Durkin would be our number two. And then Nilsson, Klaus, Mark, Parker, Totlin, Indy, etc.
Right.
So Celios are number one. I can't imagine that we would have rotated to give him rest this early, unless,
Well,
like you said, there was a fitness issue.
what if maybe AZ's got more of that kind of academic? He can see the plays easier or something. I don't know inside baseball for soccer, so like I can't. For me, it like I it doesn't pass the smell test as to why he's getting started so much starting time. Because when you go out there and see like earlier in the season where he was taking a lot of penalties and he was drawing fouls and drawing those PKs, that seemed to be his value where he could just be that wrecking ball out there and running into people and falling down. Well, that's not really working anymore. I think they're just avoiding him or he's not being as effective. But like it doesn't really seem to he doesn't really seem to know where he's going once he gets near the box. It's almost like that box is like a force field. Like he can't get past and he just
I wonder if he's a guy who has like supreme talent, like he's super good with his feet, but he
You
just
may hear
doesn't have that knowledge. I wonder if
right.
they're just. I wonder if they see this on the practice field. They see, holy crap, he's got amazing moves. He kicks well. Maybe he's accurate, and they're hoping that maybe he learns. Like maybe they're hoping his mind develops. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
But
he does seem like he has the talent there. It just I don't think he knows what to do.
right. I'm hoping that maybe at this point they've seen the light. You know, maybe it's Lutz saying that we got to get him out there. We gotta start him. We gotta show him. But you know, I'm really hoping that someone else can get it started. I mean, he's gotten how many games have he seen? I feel like he's started every game this season so far. Like,
That's a good question.
oh, good, thank you. I'm so glad. I mean, goddamn, he's only 22 years old. Like I mean,
Yeah.
he's such a solid player that and maybe super sub him for a little bit. Like, he's just getting so much more time.
So that's actually a good segue. So
And-
if we just against imaginary opponent, so not necessarily Austin, right? Next week, what would you roll out as far as lineup in your starters?
I, you know, I still want to see this 4-2-3-1. I want to continue to run that out. And I was looking at our line, and I was looking at like the strongest defenders, and right now that back line we got Parker, Yarrow, Totlin, and Markanikar is just so strong. I want to run that out there. We got a clean sheet. We're doing really well with that. And then in the midfield, I went for our defenders. I went Durkin and Blom out there. I don't know why Blom didn't get the start, but I want to see him out there. And then I want to see Thornton. I still haven't. I want to see more of this cat. I want to see Thor. I want to get Thor's hammer out there. Indy and I want Celio all passing the ball up to Papa. I want to see Santa finally get that. I think he needs someone with better passing skills. And Thor, Indy, and Celio all have phenomenal passing ability. And I want to see them feed him the ball. And I think that one of those three guys can help stop a strong
You may
strong center field striker. You know, I know we're just an imaginary, but this Drusy guy plays in the center. They play a 4-2-3-1. He's right up there, and I want to see him I want someone be able to kind of defend against him, and I think that they'll be able to stop that well. So that's what I'm running. What about you? What's your to go?
Yeah. So backline, I would put pretty similar, right? So on the left back, obviously Mark, I would put him there. I put Totlin on the right back. So the center backs, Parker, and I'm not sure about Yarrow versus Nilsson right now. Like Yarrow has had some great timeout on the pitch, this last game maybe wasn't one of his best, unfortunately. And I'm not sure what Nilsson's injury status is. So we'll just kind of leave that out there.
Okay.
Now, the difference is I'm thinking actually, like, this is kind of crazy, I know, going back to the formation that we actually did well with last year, which was this kind of 4-4-2 diamond sort of thing,
yeah.
right? Now, the only issue though is by doing a 4-4-2 diamond, like you're going to have that more defensive midfielder and more of the attacking, and then the two wings. So the problem is like you can only really have Blom or Durkin as the defensive midfielder, as opposed to the traditional 4-4-2 where you have the two kind of there and they could like double pivot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, technically in this system, Blom is more defensive than Durkin, so he would probably be the best in that number 6. So that's the only thing I'm kind of debating here. Now the thing is for the two wings and then the attacking midfielder, I'm actually kind of changing this up here, right? Like
Okay.
Celio, I actually think maybe might be good at the top of that diamond and then flanked by Indy and like Alm or something like that, right? Because we've seen many times that Celio has playmaking ability. Now, I know he's primarily like a winger, but still, I'm just kind of curious to see what somebody like that is. And if not Celio, what about like Indy in that spot?
Right.
Right? Like he has ability. He's very, like, I don't think he's as athletic as like Celio, but he's got a good mind. He reads the field well, and I want to see that. And then I would actually put both our strikers up top. If there was a way to get those two to work together, you know. Now, if Sam and Klaus can't work together, then everything I just said is you might as well just throw it out, you know. So that's what I would probably run with the few caveats. Unfortunately, they're pretty strong caveats. You have two teams would kill for either Klaus or Dinner, and that's the
Oh,
thing.
I know. Yeah.
And we have both. We have both.
Right. Yeah. No, we have we're sour with good strikers. And once we can put all this together, it's gonna, it's like it'll all be forgotten. This is we're a good team. It's just not happening right now. But we're not picking up losses. We're not picking up losses. We're picking up these annoying draws. I think it's almost like it's like stepping on a Lego. You didn't bleed, but damn, it still doesn't feel good. It's still annoying. It still hurts. Doesn't feel great. But we're not super injured. So we made it without Leuven or without Klaus for a while last year. Now we just gotta do it without the main guy. I think we're seeing like the importance of having that amazing player that now he's missing. We see it in the set pieces too. Some of these corners, we had 12 corners or something last night, and they all just were like they're just not the same right now. Watching Indy and AZ dance around and one of them just takes it. It's kind of annoying. It's getting a little annoying to watch them sprint around.
You know what I think? You know what I think is difference between a casual fan and probably a major soccer fan who lives and breathes soccer is if you ask them, and this is the way you could differentiate between two. You ready? You ask them if you had one, in the case of MLS, one designated player. Who would you get? Would you get a striker, a midfielder, defender, or goalie?
Right.
I think the casual fan would probably say a striker.
Because Chicks did the long ball. Right.
Yeah. I really think it's the midfielder, because nothing matters with your strikers unless you have a decent midfield.
Right.
Because you got to get the ball there.
I think we're learning that now. I think we're learning that. We can go out and poach Paintsil from the Galaxy right now. How much more is that going to make? How much bigger difference is that going to make without someone to get him the ball? How much difference will that make? It won't make a ton. It is what it is. We need that strong midfielder right now, and we're going to get him back soon. And then it was okay. So we'll get there.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to get some fan complaints on this one.
Hey, that's fine. Stamp it.
So
it's like the sky's not falling. We're not going to close down City Park. We're not going to chase the Lutz out on a rail. We're not firing Carnell. We're not sending Klaus down to City 2 to fix it. We're not doing this crap. Gotta guys, we're not San Jose. Like, it's not. We're not New England. Like, it's not that. It's just we haven't put it together right now.
You
And
may
guess
hear-
what? Guess what? There's I keep saying New York Red Bull right now they're in first place feels really good. They've been in this league for 29 years. They ain't never won anything.
You may
They
hear.
ain't won it.
You may hear.
This is our second year.
You
Are
may
we
hear.
expecting a chip right off the bat? That's a little unfortunate to be having that mindset. It's a little unfortunate. We should have fun with this. It's a new toy. Let's not try to take it back to the store. Let's have fun with it for a while, right?
Preach it.
Yeah.
Well, before we bolt out of here, any lasting thoughts?
Go Battlehawks. It's fun having. Yeah. I was at a soccer match for my daughter, and a lady my age or so walked by me with a Battlehawks shirt on, and I just, as I'm walking by, I went, "Caw-caw!" And she said, "Thanks, man." And she got it, and that's fun. And this is a good time to be a St. Louis fan right now. And yeah, let's just enjoy it. Once this devil eclipse passes by, you may hear the cry of Klaus once it passes by, and that's when we know this curse has been lifted. I posted on the St. Louis the city thread that you can watch Como where Nico plays now for free. You just got to sign up, and they're on the verge of being able to go up to Serie A. Right now they're in Serie B, and they're going to move up pretty soon. And if they do that, we get an extra kick from that.
Ooh.
From Nico. So we got a little more cash. So we want them to move up a little bit so that we can get a little more kickback for sending him over there. And it's a beautiful stadium. It's really fun to watch. My daughter was like, this is they seemed like the stadium's smaller than City Park, and it is. It's really not. It's not. It's a little smaller than Premier League, and it's a fun league to watch. And so go watch that. Go check that out. It's your whole Saturday. It's like Saturday football. It's like when the NCAA football is on. It's all day. You can have soccer all day. Premier League in the morning, a little bit of break for lunch, and then boom, we're into MLS. So, go City, go Blues. There we go. And go Cardinals. They got swamped today. I turned that game on. It was over in the first. First inning,
Gibson.
7 runs.
Or
Gibbs.
Gibson.
He's got you got the wrong name on the back of that jersey. The Blues are tied 5-5. They've scored 5, but they've given up 5 goals against Anaheim.
Yeah, you know what sucks about this though? They're pretty much out. They're done.
Oh yeah.
Stick a fork in them. They're done. Too little, too late.
2019 was sure fun.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note,
Hey,
go City.
Go City. BRB Fancast, baby, on all the socials. Follow us. Do it. Or else.